welcome to the Flourish Community Podcast with your host, Sibo. Yes, my name is Sibongile Mpongwana-Ncethani. I'm a psychiatrist and I am your host for the Flourish Community Podcast. If you're joining us for the first time and you have no idea what the Flourish Community Podcast is, so this is a space that we have curated especially for you, a space where faith and mental health coexist, where the two complement each other, where the two are not enemies, but their sole purpose is for them to work in concert to try and give you a flourishing life. So here we think that God works with people, professionals, community to bring about your healing. Healing isn't either or. Healing is both and. So psychiatry and faith, the two can coexist, complement each other to lead you towards your flourishing. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's something that resonates with you, because most people have some form of spirituality, some form of religion, and the question is it working for you, or is it working against your healing? Is it working against you flourishing? And why are we even asking that question? We're asking that question because we know that there is a lot of trauma that is present in the world today. And because of that, it can lead to a lot of brokenness. And the aim of this podcast is to use all the tools available to us, psychiatry, psychology, our faith, to lead us into a space of human flourishing. So, with those words, welcome to 2026. This is our first episode for the year. You might be asking what happened to me last year. Guys, I'm coming from my maternity leave, and it was a very challenging pregnancy. But I am thankful that mama and baby are both well now, which led to us not being able to continue with the rest of the episodes last year. But all of that being said, I want us to get to today's episode. So why are we here today? So today I'm asking a very serious question. It is actually a challenging question, and maybe you might feel like it is quite confrontational. And I want it to be challenging because I really want you to think about it. And the question I want to ask you, do you want to be well? Friend, if you answer this question honestly, it can change everything. So I was reading John 5. So in the Bible, this is book of John, there's 4 gospels, and this is the 4th gospel written by John, a disciple of Jesus. And I've actually shared on John here in the podcast before, on John 5 to be exact. We meet Jesus here next to a pool, and there is a man who has been sick for about 38 years. And Jesus asks this man, okay, this pool background is that if you get into the pool, you will be healed, right? So apparently there was an angel who would come and stir the waters, and when the waters are stirred, if you get inside, then you get healed. But I don't know how many times this angel came, but this man has been here for 38 years. So I think Jesus's question of, do you want to be well, is quite welcome, right? Maybe most of us, we would, if someone tells you they've been sitting by the place that can heal them, but they're still not healed. They've been sitting by the place that can bring their recovery, but they still have not recovered. They are still plagued by illness and disease, but you are sitting by the place. So Jesus asks the question, do you want to be well? Do you? And of course, the man gave his own excuses. People are too fast when I'm going in because he was paralyzed, right? I mean, for 38 years, you think you would have shifted your way, you know, to just next to the pool so that when they stir the water again, you are inside. But I appreciate this question that Jesus asks. I appreciate that he does not come and say, okay, you are sitting here, let's heal you, right? He does not just perform a miracle without consent. Jesus shows respect for his autonomy. He shows respect for this man's agency. And he actually reminded me of what we also do in our line of work, right? As a psychiatrist, when I see you, I'm not going to pounce on you. I'm going to ask you questions, right? So that I can get a better understanding of where you are at and make a good diagnosis, but also what your goals are. What do you need from me? We must understand that when it comes to healing, you are the main participant. And there's people who come in on the journey to walk it with you, but you are the engine, you are the driver. And that's why Jesus asked the question, do you want to be well? And that's why I'm asking you the question today. Do you want to be well? Maybe you can ask yourself, Sibo, you are talking about wellness. You're talking about healing. What is healing? And I think it's a good question because healing is a buzzword these days. If you go to, Instagram or whatever social media outlet that you are using, you'll find a lot of people saying, please do not interfere with my healing. I'm healing. But do we really know what healing is? Like, what are we referring to? So today I want us to zone in on that, on what healing is. And of course, it's always good to go back to the dictionary, and I like Merriam-Webster, and just to check what's the general definition. Like, what does the general person understand about healing? So your dictionary will tell you that to heal is actually to be whole, right? It's to restore to wholeness, to make free from injury or disease, to mend what was broken, to restore purity and integrity. I like that last entry that defines healing by Merriam-Webster, that healing means you are returning to a sound state. Therefore, healing is not just the absence of symptoms, right? You can be treated and the symptoms are gone, but are you now functional? In mental health, especially in psychiatry, how do we know that your depression or anxiety is serious, right? We check occupational functioning, we check social functioning. So if there is impairment in social and occupational functioning, that makes that certain those group of symptoms a disorder, right? So for us to say it's major depressive disorder, it must impair that function socially or occupationally. You can't go to work. You cannot sustain your relationships, right? So when we talk about healing and how we would measure that you are now healing is by the return of those functions, that you can go back to work and be productive at work, that you can have relationships and you are no longer self-isolating. So if we know this definition about healing, then we should ask ourselves, then what is the original state of humanity? What are we healing towards? Right? Because you might say, okay, I've had depression for a long time. It's chronic depression. I don't feel like myself. And you don't even remember what yourself is like. You don't even remember who you are anymore. So I want to remind you, when we talk about healing, I want us to not look at it as a buzzword, but as a reality. When we say you are being restored to your original state, when you say you are returning to a sound state, what is that? If we go back to Genesis 1:27, 27 to 28, it speaks about the original intent of God when he made human beings. So if you are having trouble remembering who you are, remember you are made in the image of God. And remember, when he made you, he said it is good. So whatever is disordered, dysfunctional, destructive is not representative of what is good. Therefore, that is not God's will for your life. You know what I mean? It is dysfunctional. It is not bringing you joy. It is not bringing you any productivity in your life. Does it make sense? So when we define healing, restoration to a sound state, return to a sound state, and we're talking state of mind, emotions, and also your body, right? The whole of your being. And that whole of your being is the one that was created by God in the beginning, the one that images God, right? So if we can see the image of God in our lives, then we know that we are not aligned with that healing, because we know that we well when we align with that image of God, right? When he goes on to say there, be fruitful. When you are fruitful, when you are multiplying, when you are taking dominion of the places that God has put you in, you are not overwhelmed or taken over by your emotions all the time, finding it very difficult to even get through the day. That is not the state that God made you in. He made you into a better state, a state of sound mind. And as we talk about healing, we are talking about approaching that vision, right? That vision that God has for us. Day by day, whatever tools we are using, we want to approach that vision that God has for us. So the question we need to ask ourselves then is, what is keeping us stuck in the cycles of 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 pain, of suffering, right? Like that man that was sitting by the pool for 38 years. You could ask what keeps him stuck. And I will dare say that our old habits, right? We are used to doing things like this. We used to being in this space. Old beliefs about yourself. Sometimes you feel like you're not worthy or you're not good enough to receive healing, right? You don't feel like that's something that you deserve. Sometimes you believe that healing is for other people and it's not for you. That's something that can happen to your neighbor or to your friend. It's reserved for them. People of a particular status, people coming from a certain place. Healing is for them, but not for me. That's not true, because we are all made in that image. So that's the vision that God holds for all of us, right? Some of the things that really keep us stuck is that sometimes we're so disconnected from our bodies and emotions. You are disconnected, what we call dissociation. There is no connection between your mind and your body and your emotions. You cannot feel, or you are just stuck in that feel state, but your mind is not even computing what that feeling is. There's a disconnect. You cannot even articulate what it is that you are feeling. Therefore, you cannot even answer the question that I'm asking you, do you want to be well? Because you've been stuck in the cycle for so long and you don't even know who you are. You don't even know what you are feeling anymore. A lot of times what keeps people stuck also is that loss of autonomy, right? You no longer reflect, choose, or take ownership of anything. You've lost your sense of self-agency, right? You have given away your power. Maybe you are stuck in a relationship with someone who's very abusive and you've given away your power to them. Therefore, it is very difficult for you then to even answer this question. Because for a long time you've been in this marriage, someone has been making the decisions for you. For a long time you've been in this relationship and someone has been making the decisions for you. You can't even decide on simple things like what am I going to wear? Someone controls that. A loss of autonomy, right, can keep you stuck in that cycle of pain. The length of your illness, time can erode hope. And maybe this is what we're seeing with this man, that he was ill for such a long time, he lost all hope that he also could get well. I wonder if that's you, my friend, that you have lost all hope. You've seen psychiatrists, neurologists, doctors, and you just feel like maybe this is just not for me. And we know that sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it takes time. It's been too long for you that you feel like you'll never get out. There's sometimes a fear that healing is not possible for you. So sometimes because you've been in it for so long, you think that it's not possible for you, not in this lifetime. And I want to also share a very uncomfortable truth. There is maybe the reason you are not, taking a hold of your healing or taking your healing journey seriously is that maybe you benefit from being ill. So this can be an unconscious drive, right? You might not be doing this intentionally. This is why I want you to ask this question. Do you want to be well? Because the answers will be different for all of us. Maybe for you, being unwell and being in pain and suffering benefits you. How? It brings you care. People never used to care. People never used to check on you, but now people check on you. If you lost relationships with your children, now your children come home, they make food for you because now you are ill, right? They're not asking you, they're not holding you accountable as you should be, right? So the sickness is the only thing that you can hold on to, and is the only thing that can make them see you. It's become familiar for you. Healing feels unknown. It feels scary, right? And I think this is the biggest one. And sometimes we are not even aware that we are holding on to the sickness, to the illness. And gently, I want to ask you, do you want to be well? Do you want to be well, my friend? I want to talk to those people who've had a chronic illness. Chronic illness, you've been struggling with the same thing for a long time. Maybe, friend, you've even prayed about it, even asked God. You've been on all the prayer lines at church. all the miraculous healings and the prophetic healings, and still nothing has changed for you. I want to just say that we see you. We see you. As a Flourish community, we see you. We see how sincere you are about getting well, that you are ready to step into it, but it just is not coming. I want to challenge you and ask you, we said illness takes away your ability to flourish, your ability to be productive, to multiply, right? And I wonder if you could change your perspective and see that, can you still flourish despite the pain? I feel that so deeply in my heart. Can you still flourish despite the pain? It's going to require a different person from you. That you grow as a different person, that you get bigger than the pain, that you add more things in your life. And maybe healing to you does not look like what you imagined. I want to say, we see you. And even there in the land of chronic illness and pains, there can still be productivity as you define it, right? Not as compared to someone else, as you define it. And that Jesus has a heart for you. And this might be very hard to even receive, because you felt forgotten, you felt abandoned and rejected. As dejected as you are, Jesus sees you. Do you want to be well? Even in that long-standing chronic illness that you cannot do anything about, I believe that there's still a purpose for you. There's still a plan for you. And I wish you could see it too. Even if you don't see it today, even if you just listen to me today, maybe someday you'll just entertain the possibility of, oh yeah, even with this thing that comes and go, I can also multiply. I can also take dominion. This is not the end of me. I am not my illness. I am not my diagnosis. I am not the stigma that people put on me, or that I put on myself. There's hope for you still, friend. There's hope for you still. I'd like to encourage you and say that Jesus is willing. In Matthew 8, there's a story of a man, 8:2-3, who had leprosy. And, he asked Jesus, are you willing to heal me? And Jesus touched him and said the words, I am willing, be healed. He touched him. Leprosy at that time was seen as a group of any skin disease. But in the biblical times, if you had leprosy, you were ostracized. You're not even supposed to come in and mingle with people. But here's Jesus touching the ostracized, touching the people who have been dejected and rejected by society, touching you and your pain. And today he's saying, I'm willing. He's asking, do you want to be well? If your answer is yes, then Jesus is saying, he is willing. Be well. Be restored to health. Be restored to the good that he, God, created. When he made you, he said you were good. When he finished his job, he said, you are good. You, my friend, are the good thing. You are the good thing that God made. And you deserve every opportunity to aggressively pursue your healing and not to give up, no matter how long it's been. Don't give up on your life. Even if you have to walk with it, don't give up on your life. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. But also, you can find pockets of joy. And you deserve to walk in those pockets of joy. So I want to just, take this time and you just breathe into it, right? Breathe into it. I'm very sensitive to the pain that people are carrying. I'm very sensitive to it. And I want to create space for it right now, right here. Are you willing? Do you want to be well? Because healing is available. I want to pray specifically for those people who are really struggling because they've been sick for a long time now and it feels like there is no help coming. And I just want to say, Father, thank you. Thank you for my brothers and my sisters out there, Lord. Thank you that you love them, you care for them. And even, oh God, as they struggle with this pain, I pray that you meet them at that point of need. Even though, Lord, it's been a long time that they've really been struggling and asking you, I pray that you meet them right there in the pain. Because you are the only one who can bring revelation, who can bring healing. If they get a word from you, they'll be able to move forward towards the thing that you have called them to. So fill them up, Holy Spirit. Fill them up. Thank you for provision to see all the specialists, to see all the doctors and the therapists that they need to see. Thank you for provision. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for allowing people to come from the community, from the churches, from all around them, Lord, to come and walk with them so that they can remember that they are not alone. They are not doing life alone. May this be a reminder for them, Lord, that they don't do life alone. Friend, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you. It's a bit of a heavy session, heavy episode, but I hope it challenges you and it makes you see and believe that it is possible, right? Do the thing. See the person that you need to see. The therapist, the psychiatrist, the doctors. Do it all. You are worth it, right? You are so worth it. Until we meet again next time, I'm going to say goodbye and just to tell you that you must be ready for a hot lineup. Remember to subscribe and like and share this video with someone that you think might really need it. It might be encouraging. And we are going to have videos every month because sister me is now a mother of 3, so we'll be having videos every month. And be interactive on our socials. Join me on Flourish with Sibo on Instagram, Flourish with Sibo on TikTok, and the Flourish Community Podcast here on YouTube. Take care and be blessed, mamas. Be blessed, tatas. Be blessed, everyone. Bye.